We said earlier that every Windows computer is either a member of a workgroup or a member of a domain. In order to become a member of domain, I would have to join the domain. So let's take a look at our Windows 10 machine again. I'm going to close this guy out. Let's go back up to this PC, Properties, Change Settings, and Change. In order to join a domain, I would simply click this. I would give it the name of the domain that I want to join, and then when I clicked OK, it would ask me for a domain admin credentials in order to join that domain. So what do we mean by joining a domain? Well, let's go back down here, and this virtual machine right now, as you can see, I've got 4 virtual machines open. I've got this one, which is a domain controller, a server. This one, which is a client, which is a member of this domain. This one is a standalone Windows 7. This one's a standalone Windows 10. Right now I'm in the domain controller, and if I click Start, you'll see I have a server manager, and I've got Windows Administrative Tools. So I'm going to go ahead and click Windows Administrative Tools, and you'll see that I have various members. I have various users that are members of this domain, and various computers that are members of this domain. These are some different organizational units within this domain, but for each one of these, you can see I've got some computers and I've got some users that are members of this thing. So when I join a computer to this domain using this, what happens is it makes an entry over here, either under computers or users, unless I force it to do it somewhere else, and makes it a member of that domain. Now I can use the services that this domain controller and other servers can provide. Things like centralized printing and access to network files and folders, access to databases, things like that. All right, so that's why I would want to join a domain. Now on the other hand, that domain controller also has control over everything on this machine. When I receive my updates, what the background picture looks like, whether I can access the registry editor or control panel and things like that. That's all controlled by the domain controller. That's why it's called a domain controller. It's in control. Now, every computer is also a member of, it's a member of either a workgroup or domain, but within either workgroup or domain, it also is a member of a certain location profile. Let's go to the standalone. I will show you the profile. Okay, this is the standalone Windows 10 machine, so I'm going to go down here to Settings, Network and Internet, and you can see that I am on the public profile. If I click Properties, I have 2 options, public and private. So I'm either a member of one or a member of the other, and depending on which one I choose, certain features are turned off and on through the Windows firewall. And that's in our notes. You'll see down here, public, work, and home. Well, now wait a minute. I said public and private. Well, that's because that's Windows 10. Back on Windows 7, we had 3 different profiles, public, work, and home. And I could be a member of any one of them. If I'm a member of the public profile, it doesn't matter if I'm on a domain or on a local machine, all of these things are turned off. If I am on a work profile, then they're all on except home group. In other words, I can do network discovery, I can do file and print sharing, and home group, though, I can't do home groups. We'll talk about home groups in the next video. If I set my network profile to home, then all of these are available to me. I can turn them on and off as I will. Windows 10 only has these 2, public and private. Windows 7 has home, work, and public. So it's got 3 different profiles. And let's go to a Windows 7 machine. And I'll go to Control Panel, Network and Internet, and Network and Sharing Center. And you'll see this one's on a home profile, and then I have a work profile and a public profile. Really, the only difference between these is how the firewall reacts. In other words, what's set up to be able to pass through the firewall. There is another profile besides public, work, and home, or public and private in the case of Windows 10, there's also a hidden domain profile. So I'm going to go to my client, which is on the domain, and let's go to network. And now you see I am on the widget LLC. In fact, if I click properties here, I don't have the option. I don't have public and private as an option because I'm on neither one. I'm on a hidden profile. You don't really see it until you go in and look at the network setup, and then you can see that it's no longer either public or profile or work or home or whatever. It is now simply a hidden profile called that domain name profile. So widget LLC.internal profile, and I can't change it here. So really, that would be a fourth column in this case, or in the case of Windows 10, it would be a third column. I've got public, I've got private, which is like home, and then I would also have a domain. No matter whether it's a work group or a domain, I would have another profile by the name domain listed here because it's kind of a hidden one. You don't see it normally. And here's a picture of it here in case you wanted to see that. Next, we're going to talk about what in the world we mean by home groups. If everything's a member of a work group or a member of a domain, then what's a home group?